Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston, this is Station. I am ready for the event.
ESA PAO, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is ESA PAO. How do you hear me?
ESA PAO from Station. I hear you loud and clear. Hello, everyone.
Thanks, Sophie. We will now transition to French, and I give the floor to Christine Chapelle.
Bonjour Sophie, c'est Christine Chapelle.
Hello Sophie, this is Christine Chapelle. Well, I would like to understand, what does it mean? How does it feel to be on board the ISS?
Bonjour Christine, et ravie
Hello Christine, very happy to talk to you from space too. Well, an AVA, of course, this is something that is unforgettable, unimaginable probably. I still have trouble realizing what happened, in the sense that, well, it's an experience that is extremely, incredibly intense in terms of preparation, but as well as when the airlocks open and when we start working in space. And, in terms of appreciating the view, well, that's a little difficult to do because we're very busy. We did have some moments where we were on break, so I was able to appreciate it. So I was happy to be there and very lucky to have that view, which is a view. The astronauts that have already done EVA, they say that when you leave the airlock, despite all the training that you've had, the brain rebels and says, no, you shouldn't be going there. Did that happen to you as well? Well, it's true that during the prep phase and all the time that leads up to the opening of the airlock, there is this dissonance, cognitive dissonance between the wanting to go there and working there, etc. And then there is the other part of your brain that is saying, it's crazy. What am I doing? Because it's not really, how should I put it? Well, humans are not made for this. This is a hostile environment. Everything is difficult. The spacesuit is heavy. There is also there's this debate between two parts of your brain. And so I told myself, okay, this cognitive dissonance, it's there. It's experienced by all the astronauts. So I will just, tell the more negative part of my brain to, I'll ask that part to gently shut up and let me do my work. And in the end, everything works out well. I was in a very positive state of mind as soon as the airlock opened, and I appreciate every second. Were there things that surprised you that the training didn't prepare you for?
Alors, je pense qu'on a eu notre lot de surprises.
Well, I think, there was a surprise. Well, for EVA,
on s'était préparé à tous les dysfonctionnements possibles et inimaginables.
Prepared for every type of problem, issue that could have arisen. And I think the, negative sort of nominal things took up a longer part of the procedure book than the positive one. But they list every possible concern, and we had all of them during our event. So that was pretty impressive. But thankfully, we're a very tightly knit team, and we're able to overcome all of this. And we had a very positive state of mind and just keep going. And so that was something that was a really important teamwork that helped and prep as well. And then one more story I can tell you, which really surprised me. When I returned to the ISS, and the team took my helmet off and opened the space suit, and the feeling I had was the same as when I got into the space station for the first time, and with the smells and everything. So that surprised me. How do you feel afterwards? Does your body suffer, because physically it has to be very exhausting, right? Well, yes, it's true. It's real physically challenging and EVA, and there are several days of preparation. You have to be in a good physical shape and form, and you really be in good shape on the day off, and everything is thought through together with the team, with your sleep, your food, nutrition. It all works through with the experts, and afterwards, you feel sort of pain everywhere, and and your body works hard every time you hold something in your hand. Well, it's a lot of effort. So yes, the body feels like it did a very big effort. And maybe as an example, well, it's as if you were in a very big major car accident and you were very tense, and then the next day you feel tense all over. Well, that's the feeling that you have the day after. That's physical, but mentally, I mean, you're very happy to have experienced this, and now we are in the debrief phase to assess what we're going to do next, but generally, good. I understand that you were not able to finish everything that you were planning to do during the spacewalk. That's correct. That's what's being discussed right now. It's good that it's coming up now, but it's being decided now. But we are ready, and we have a lot of work to do to make sure we are able to reassess everything, and with all the problems we had, with all the technical equipment, well, hopefully we will be able to rectify, and we will work next time. Well, were you able to see our poor friends ravaged and by the fires?
Alors, ce qui est sûr, c'est qu'on voit tous les champs qui sont jaunes.
Definitely, you can see the yellow fields, and in the summer, France is not the same color as in other seasons, and it's kind of dry. And yes, you can see huge clouds and smoke, and that's very impressive. And despite what you say, we're not really outside everything, because I really feel for the people who are helping fight these fires. And actually, on my checklist, on my list that I had like a message during the EVA to do. It'll come out later, but I had a message of thanks for the heroic works that the firefighters are doing that I had on my arm.
Est-ce que tu as hâte de rentrer?
Are you in a hurry to go home? Sorry, I couldn't hear the question. Are you in a hurry to get back to Earth?
Ah, c'est gentil, merci pour la question.
Nice. So thank you for the question. Well, actually, at this point, I'm fine here right now at this moment. But I'm telling myself that, when I get back on Earth, I will be happy to kind of reunite with things that I like on Earth. But then, on Earth, I will probably be missing things that I like here. So really, my philosophy is to kind of be where I am and to appreciate the current moment. So I will appreciate the return to Earth in several weeks as well. Thank you very much, Sophie, and have a good stay up there.
Merci, Christine. À bientôt.
Thank you, Christine. See you.
Thank you, Sophie. We now hand the floor over to Quentin Benoit.
Bonjour Sophie et bravo pour.
Hello, Sophie. congratulations on your first EVA. First question, how do you prepare for a spacewalk like this?
Bonjour et merci pour cette
Hello.
question. En fait,
Thank you for this question. Actually, the psychological, mental preparation, cognitive, physiological, physical, actually it encompasses everything. Well, we have teams that support us. We're not alone. We have real teams because the question was about the psychological preparation. We have psychologists who help us, who ask us the right questions to prepare us for all the situations that could occur. We also talk a lot with the teams with whom we that we work with directors, with everyone, and so we are ready. We get ready and we get prepared for everything that could happen, and especially to all the issues that might arise. And in terms of psychological and mental aspects, well, I've done other risky things in my life. I did search and rescue missions in Afghanistan before, and there were intense and risky missions. And every time, for me, the prep phase was and consisted of trying to find all the small things that could start like a fire going in my mind, like how do I deal with that? And so really I would tell myself, for this I respond like this, in this situation I respond like this, and etc. And so this work for me, it works, and when I am there and I see and feel that there is something major that's happening, I tell myself, okay, breathe, and I tell myself, the procedure, so do that. So we are all different. We all have our methods and tricks, but really, it's important to remember that it's the team that helps us. So for this EVA, what do you remember of it, and what are your memories?
Ce que je retiens de cette sortie, c'est que.
Well, what do I remember of it?
Je suis contente qu'on ait fourni un travail colossal.
That I am happy that we prepped hard, including 3 weekends prior. And we worked through all the possible scenarios, and really we had most of them. And we are a very solid team, and the team that is supporting us, even though it's just the two of us astronauts outside, there are hundreds of people that are supporting us in control rooms, that are there to share their expertise. There is an expert in the medical, and a spacesuit and expert, an expert in electrical aspects, expert in everything. So if you're very well prepared, then you can do anything. And personally, what I will remember is that this is an experience, like Jean-Christian says, it's a transcendental experience. It goes beyond whatever we can imagine. I also remember that the first time I saw the robotic arm that was like in the black void of the space, that was amazing. It's magnificent, as well as impressive. It's both at the same time. And then I saw the moon rise and the dragon too. Anyway, and I had a second to see all that, and then I had to go back to my task at hand. But these images definitely will stay with me. You were already saying this, but what were the issues, and what did you do to adapt to them?
En fait, pendant cette mission,
well, actually, during this mission, we had some bolts that didn't want to be bolted, or screws that didn't want to screw, and then things that were supposed to be connecting but didn't want to connect. We also had some electric adapters that got disconnected from the plastic parts that they were supposed to be attached to. But every time we'd find solutions, and then in the end, the antenna that we had to replace, well, we put it
dans un espace temporaire,
sort of in storage, sort of in a temporary space while we wait for the new one. So all of this, well, is well, the mechanics know it very well. You have theory, but then you have practice. Something, a bolt doesn't work. So you have to just adapt. And so we had to adapt, and that's what we did. And in the end, what happened was that we were feeling safe the whole time. And then we got back inside the ISS, and essentially we did part of the mission. But with all the problems that we had, we, still feel that, that's what kept it, and that's what's important. Can you talk a bit about the effort that you spend in space, and are you ready for the EVA spacewalk on Tuesday? Okay, I couldn't hear the first part of the question. The effort that you expend during a spacewalk, like the physical effort, how does it feel?
Alors, une sortie extravéhiculaire, c'est un effort physique.
Well, an EVA is a serious physical effort. I never imagined it that way. So you put the spacesuit. So essentially, you put the spacesuit around 9 or 10 a.m. local ISS time, and then we got out of it around 7:30 p.m. And so between 9 and 7:30, we only had 1 liter of water for the entire duration, and yet we did a physical effort that was significant, and we only had 1 liter of water. So that required a very special type of preparation. And just like for the marathons, you do, you take something the night before so that your muscles have enough glycogen, but not too much, so that you are not feeling sick. Then the breakfast has to be more serious than usual, but not so much as to make you sick. But this, so that's for the marathon, and in the EVA case, well, there is that, the extra being of space. And then then there is the pressurization of the spacesuit, and so every movement is difficult. And so, for example, if I was holding the mic and I was in a spacesuit, and it would require much more effort than I'm expending right now. I'm still, feeling kind of rough body. So yes, I will be ready for the next EVA on Tuesday. NASA will be deciding on the program for next Tuesday, but in any event, I'll be ready. You're the first French astronaut who did an EVA. So, but there are others who have done it generally. So, does your experience match those of the others? What do you think of that? So, I'm going to start with the second part of the question. Yes, I think that the experience, what I felt was similar to what they felt. It's something that is absolutely extraordinary that you can't imagine, and so you only understand it once you've experienced it, and it's really hard to describe too. And then I'll give you an example. An EVA, you know, when you're going like on a cliff and you see how far down it goes, it's beautiful down there, but you still stay, you know, there. You still, so it's a little bit like an EVA. Like on EVA, it's sort of the same, but you, for example, in my example, you were in the car, but in the EVA, you get out of the car and like, look, so, you know, seeing the Earth from the ISS is not the same as seeing Earth when you are in the EVA. It's like a lot of things that, you know, all the guardrails have been removed too, even though you still feel safe. So in that sense, I think our EVA felt similar to what others had experienced in terms of, you know, whether I'm the first French woman to do an EVA or the fifth French person to do an EVA. I mean, this is sort of amazing, of course, but when I feel too amazed, I try to concentrate on the thing at hand and not on the statistics. And so I, you know, say, well, it's something that I'll tell people about when I get back or talk to my grandchildren about. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sophie.
Have a good rest of the day.
Merci beaucoup. Ok, juste un message pour remercier.
Just a little message to thank very warmly TF1 and the Figaro. I'm very happy as usual to be working with you. I'm sure we'll see each other when I get back. We have a lot of nice things to see, to tell each other.
To share our experience and to share the unique perspective that we have on beautiful Earth. So thank you to everyone contributing to this. Bye.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event. Thank you.
Thank you to all participants. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications. And Sophie, we have 40 seconds to LOS. We'll give you big picture JSL words after the short handover.